Welcome to class. My name is Cindy Shelton and I'll be your instructor. I want to show you around the class a little bit and show you how I've designed it and how best to interact with it. So to get to your course, you can either go through ashland.kctcs.edu on the Ashland campus or whichever home campus you're on. Get to your main home page and go to My Path. And then you'll have some options here. You can check your email, check your student records, enrollments. But to get to your courses, you click on Blackboard Learn. All right, and you can totally bypass all that and just go directly to elearning.kctcs.edu as well. So that's the other way in. Okay, once in, we'll go to your courses. And if you don't see your current courses, you can use the drop down and find what you're currently enrolled in. And so we're going to look at your college algebra summer course. And so once you're in, this is how it should look. Across the horizontal line here, you can see the content. That's the main meat of the course. You'll see the content down this middle column. That's where you'll be most of the time. Also down this far left column, there is a class collaborate. If you ever want to meet with me, that's a place for anyone enrolled in this class, or you can meet with your classmates as well. But this is sort of like Zoom for our class specifically, so we can meet there and answer questions if you should like to. There's no required time in this class. You don't have to meet with me at any point, but I am available if you would like to meet. So you can work asynchronously, just on your own. There are some deadlines to keep up with, but there's no required meeting times that you have to be here. All right, so along this horizontal line, the content, like I said, is the default, and that's where most everything you'll see. Also, announcements, do check that out every once in a while, at least once a week. I will send you kind of an update where you should be, what's going on, announcement. But it should be exactly what you see in your syllabus and in all the content, but I will go ahead and send those out at least once a week to make sure you're seeing that. Those will be sent to your email, so make sure you're logged into Ashland, our campus email, to check official emails throughout the semester. A lot of times we'll have visiting students from other colleges, and you may have other emails, but you have to have an official email with us to get the communication that we'll do back and forth. So just make sure you're checking that. And then also it will be saved to the announcements. There is a discussion board for you just to introduce yourself, but we won't be using that a lot in this class, but that's where it would be at. I do not use this grade book, so you need to be aware. I don't use the Blackboard grading, and I don't use these messages. I like to be contacted by email, so that's the quickest way for me to respond back to you, because I have my email on my mobile phone and I can check it quickly and respond. But here I have to log into Blackboard, so it's a little more. I can do it and I will, but if you can remember to contact me by email, that would be nice. Again, I don't use this gradebook. Your gradebook is right here, MyLab Math Student Gradebook. You will be using a program called My Math Lab to do your homework and your assignments in, so all of your grades are automatically updated there. So just keep in mind that's where your gradebook is. All right, so that's kind of the layout. Let's click here and look at some things. So it does say click here to start. So I do hope that you do click there to start. And that will give you, every time you open one of these modules, a drop down of a bunch of stuff. You can collapse that, but this is how you know you're at the end of that module. So lots of just details about general stuff here at the college, but also this will include some information about me and an introduction. I would like you to introduce yourself to the classmates. Also, I'll keep this video here if you need to go back and listen to it again for any information. I'll save it there. And then the big deal is your course syllabus and calendar. So let's look at that. So this is your general syllabus with your grading requirements and all the you know, the legal documentation that we have for the class. I've highlighted a couple of things about that here, like how your grades are determined, and this is how your MyLab grade book is also set up. Homework is 20%. Your quizzes, you'll have quite a few quizzes sprinkled throughout the course. All of this is non-monitored, 60% of your grade. You do that infinite times until you get 100 is the idea. And the layout of the class should be that you listen to the lecture, which there's video lectures for each section we cover. There are 29 sections that we will be going over in this class, 29 sections. So you can kind of keep in mind how you divide that out for a 4.5-week class. Probably save the last half there will be to take your final exam. So let's say 4 weeks divided by 28 sections. That means you're basically going to do a section a day. You need to average 1 section per day. And that means to ingest that as far as watch the lecture so that you get the general concepts that we're talking about. Take your notes as you go. And then you'll do some homework over that section. And then you have quizzes over, after you've covered like 2 sections, 2 to 3 sections, you take a quiz. So it takes a good, I would say, the lecture is about an hour, and then maybe an hour to do the homework. So maybe 2 hours a day, I would say you need to set aside an average of 2 hours a day for this class because it's so fast-paced. We've condensed a normal full semester class into 4.5 weeks. So there's some magic in that some students just love. I have a high success rate for this class, and I think it's because you're very focused and you don't have time to get really off track with it. You just have to every day kind of do a little bit of it. And you know, I know you might have more time on the weekends and maybe do more sections on the weekend, but you need to average this 2-hour time commitment per day, and it kind of keeps your motivation or the momentum going. And I feel like that helps students be successful in this. And oftentimes you're not taking a different class. So you can just hit this one class as hard as you can, and it kind of helps you remember the things that you're learning from the day before because you're just on a roll. And, you know, a lot of math classes we build from one day to the next day. So it can work very well, and it has worked very well for a lot of my students. But if you do not have that much time to really commit to a summer class that moves at this pace, just keep that in mind. You might want to reconsider it if you can't do that. But like I said, most students find it to be a good routine for them and do find success in it. But you can't miss a week. I mean, you can't have a full week that you just don't work on it. You have to do a little bit along because it will snowball and be too much to do all at once because there is so many sections that we have a lot of questions over each section. All right, so hopefully that kind of it tells you the main thing you need to know about the course, and that's the pacing. There's just a lot of work in each section to do. But here's a little more information. You will, if you do miss a deadline, I have weekly deadlines. It's a 2% reduction in points per day. So if you miss a Monday deadline and you don't get it done till Tuesday, you can still get 98% on it. So it's not a big deal, but you will want to try to keep up with the pace just for your own mental health so you don't fall so far behind that it's hard to catch up. Also, I do proctor 3 of your exams. You can see here Chapter 1 exam. You'll do that on webcam from home, and your midterm exam, and then your final exam. These major exams will be taken, 40% of your grade will be taken, observed with Respondus monitoring. Only thing you need to know is, as it says here, Chromebooks and cell phones won't work with that. You can do some of your homework on your cell phone or your Chromebook, but as far as these proctored exams, you'll need a real laptop that has a webcam on it is the thing. It takes over your webcam and records you taking the exam. If you are uncomfortable with that, you can come to campus this summer. You can get a hold of me and we can set up some time for us to meet in person anyway, if that's something you'd like to do. That is an option. So anyway, here is the class schedule, and it will tell you all the things I just said about the pacing, what to do when. So you might want to save this to your desktop to kind of give you an idea about that. These dates are listed in multiple places. This is one place you can see it, and then the syllabus. Okay, and then there is a syllabus quiz. So that's due this Friday, the first Friday of class. So you get that. And a little information about the proctoring and the program that I use. and various resources we have at the college. We do have student support services here, a wonderful program. So if that's something that you hadn't considered, the student support links will tell you more about that. And they do tutoring through student support services, but it takes a little while to get set up in that program, so you want to do that day one if you think you're going to need that support. Then MyLab Math, this is where you'll get into all of your assignments. You can see all assignments are listed here, and then also broken down into tests and quizzes. But everything, if you click there, it rockets you out to another window. But here you can also see all the due dates. It should be listed there. You can work ahead in this class. There's weekly deadlines, like Chapter 1 is basically due the first week right there. To take the Chapter 1 test, you will need, it has a little flag there because you have to get a certain percent on the practice quiz. You know, try to get 100%, of course, but I've got it set to require you a little bit just to make sure you did get some practice of that before you take it. So it has a prerequisite one in there. And then Chapter 2, so you can work ahead, like I said, just know that there are some weekly deadlines to keep you on track there. Okay, so there's a textbook in this list somewhere. Here's your e-text. You do have a textbook, access to that. And then your grade book. Like I said, your grade will always be housed there. And then here's where the material would be. The first chapter is the review chapter. This is optional, and it says so here. So it's just extra support if you're having trouble with factoring. A lot of students tell me that's one of the main things they'll struggle with when they start Chapter 1 or Chapter 2 is some of the base things from the review chapter. So here we go over your exponent rules, how to factor polynomials, and all kinds of various like precursor rules. So those are not for points. They're just there as you need them. You can watch the video lectures if you just want to like get an overview of what should I know from some of the old stuff before I start. If you have time to watch these videos or feel like you need to, there are various topics there. Rational expressions. Factoring, like I said, is probably the most common one I get questions about. That is not me, but I've thrown in some other people have videos here as well. Factoring is in, I thought PowerPoint 4. But anyway, one of those has factoring in it as well. Then, where your official material starts, week 1. Week 1 material is Chapter 1. What I expect you to do, if you didn't see above, and take the syllabus quiz, just a reminder here, start with the syllabus quiz. I don't want to save the welcome video there. And then, where the real class starts, lecture 1.1. So you have some notes here. You can download your notes or just open them up here and follow along the lecture videos, and then some sample videos here. If ever you hit a topic and you're like you don't have enough content or supplements there, always reach out to me and let me know if you have further questions. I also have the chapter notes from the book. Some students prefer this. You find what works for you. This is kind of a repeat. These are the textbook authors, so you can watch videos here as well. So there's PowerPoints, the textbook, and some videos over each section. So you find you don't need to do both. You're welcome to do both, but they're just both there in case you want that. This is not for points, so that's optional as well. And then there's your textbook again, and then here's some points for you. 1.1, your first official homework assignment, 4 points. And you can see, let's click into one of these assignments. And so you have a question, you can ask your instructor, read the textbook, and sometimes it has helped me solve this there. It will keep track of that as you go, and I'll be able to see that. And so Chapter 1, and then there is an exam the following week. I give you a few days to kind of, if you need some time to let that sink in and to get studied up on that, then the Chapter 1 exam is due that next Thursday. But also you'll be moving on to week 2, graphing, and then again there's all the information. So like I said, it is a lot of information, and I've tried to give you a video over everything that I can think of. So just be sure to pace yourself. I wish you all the very best of success in all that you do, and know that I'm here cheering you on and here to help you as needed. Best wishes for your success.